your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what good thing to say? I dabbled in stand-up for something. I have no disrespect for you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, welcome to my casual Saturday morning stream. Welcome, and good morning. Hello. Oh, see Highness in the chat, Duke in the chat, Night Owl, but you're up during the daytime. What's up with that? NKFD. Hello. Lord of something? Lord of Arc Midnight. Sounds fancy. John Henry. Hi. Oh my God. Morning stream. We're back, everyone. There's so much to cover. If you're in the New York area, I will be doing a show next month, Saturday, September 7th at the Cutting Room in New York City. And Saturday, October 5th, here in Westchester, New York. So, New York people, take advantage while I'm still doing local shows before I'm back on the road. But the bean is still very young, and I'm not ready for a full tour schedule yet. But very exciting. Thank you for everybody. Yeah, Friday Night Tights last night was super fun. We had Kurt Metzger on, who is a comedian who I've known for years. He's hilarious. What did they compare him to? They said he looked like a Serbian war criminal or something like that. He's just nuts and bizarre and irreverent and like a train off the tracks that never quite crashes. It's just like, oh my God, what is he going to say next? It was so fun. So rewatch that or watch it for the first time if you haven't seen it yet. And plus, now we do a bonus Rumble hour. So regular FNT on Gary's channel from 4 to 7, and then Rumble hour from 7 to 8. So that's going to be our Friday schedule going forward. So this is, you guys, I'm sure if you haven't been following the Tiffany Henyard scandal coming out of Dolton, I don't know what you've been doing with your lives, because this is like the greatest small town drama of all time. And I'm going to do a reaction. They just had a meeting. So for months, the people of Dolton have been like pissed at Tiffany Henyard for extravagant trips to Las Vegas. Something has smelled funny in this town for months, if not years, and it's taken the residents a while to start talking and getting together, and the other board members to start talking, and they've realized, okay, she's the problem. This girl, Tiffany Henyard, she's the mayor. She calls herself the super mayor. Oh, I found a lollipop in my pocket. It's gonna be a good day. So they realized that she's spending a lot of the town's money, but they didn't know how much. So they've hired Lori Lightfoot. She looks like a raccoon. Remember her? She, I think, was what was she, mayor of Chicago, and she got a lot of flack for kind of tanking Chicago. But I think she's redeeming herself a bit in this Tiffany Henyard debacle, because she was tasked with going through all the receipts, all the credit card statements, everything for since 2021, and what she uncovered was pretty insane. So they just had a town meeting. What was it? Could it have been Friday? Could it have been Thursday? Very recently. So here's shout out to Nate the lawyer. If you're not subscribed to him, I don't know what you're doing with your life, because he's funny. He does great coverage. He's been on the show at least once before. So he kind of breaks it down, and I'm going to react to it because he kind of cut out all the garbage.
Is more than $3.5 million in the hole.
$3.5 million in the hole. This one small town.
That's the finding of an investigation into how city officials have been spending village funds.
Also tonight, more drama in Dolton. Credit card transactions amounting to thousands of dollars without explanation, and millions more owed to vendors.
A bombshell report highlights just how much financial trouble.
Yeah, so this is like a recap of all the local coverage, because Fox 32, a couple of mainstream news channels have begun to cover this story.
The village of Dolton is really in.
Big bills with little accountability. That's the headline out of South suburban Dolton tonight, where an investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administrations revealed more.
And it doesn't help that she always is dressed to the nines. She always looks fabulous. Her hair is always done. Her makeup is always done. She, again, like, if you haven't been aware of this story, she has like a flock of gays surrounding her, dressing her, doing her makeup. She's got a flock of personal security around her at all times. It's local Dolton police that she has just brought on to be her own personal security detail, and she's paying them insane overtime. And as we'll see here, the overtime that she has paid these security guards turns out to be more than their base salary.
For examples of taxpayer money used for questionable purposes.
Okay, last night we found out there was massive police corruption in Dolton, where the police chief is illegally getting massive amounts of overtime when he's not even eligible for overtime.
Oh, I didn't know he was ineligible.
No, that
acting chief Lacey overtime pay. So they're going back to 2022. Holy crap. He got almost 40K in overtime in 22 and 23, over 67K in 2024. Whew. Over $96,000. So he has made that's an incredible salary just in overtime. My God, people would kill to make that $215,000 just in overtime.
acting chief Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has,
which is the union, I believe,
not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747,000 just in overtime.
And if you think that's
it's fun, the best. I mean, if you have the time to watch through the whole proceeding, it is fun to hear the crowd reactions.
shocking, wait till you watch the rest of this recap.
Yay, Nate is fun. I love the title of this. Super Mayor spent $43K on Amazon in one day. It's true. One day.
All right, so welcome to Dolton, Illinois, the most corrupt administration, mayoral administration in America. Last night, we got the long-awaited financial report from Lori Lightfoot, and this is the...
So last night, and he did this video 2 hours ago. Okay, so this was from yesterday. Just checking.
Preliminary report, but things are so horrible, and I'm going to say this again, so horrible that you're going to hear
it's so much worse than anybody thought. Like, we knew she was skimming, but we didn't know how much.
The gas and the oh my gods from the crowd, because the corruption is on full display, and we have the numbers to back it up. Now, first, got to give a shout out to the 12 or 13,000 people who watched live last night. The madness was crazy. Thank you for joining me. And for those of you who are hearing this for the first time, get ready to be shocked. Now, for those of you who like to listen to this in podcast form, we are now on Spotify and
Yes,
everywhere
subscribe.
you get your podcast. Links are in the description or go over to Spotify. There have been no legally required audited financial statements, meaning the village is not in compliance with the law. Now, you would think the
Yeah, they haven't had a real audit in, I believe since 2021.
state would be all over this. Hey, what's going on? We need to know how you're spending your money. But it's Illinois, and no one is ringing the bell. Here is Lori Lightfoot explaining.
That's got to be the best picture of Lori Lightfoot I've ever seen. Again, she normally looks like a trash panda, and she doesn't look too bad here. Maybe she's getting her eyes closer together somehow.
Yeah.
The village's fiscal year runs from May 1 to April 30th. So it's those 12 months, but they spanned 2 years. Certain financial
Like Lori's voice is so boring and hard to listen to, but this is so compelling because what she's saying is just absolutely astounding.
financial disclosures are mandated under state law that the village reports to the comptroller of the state each fiscal year. 2 documents that we're going to talk specifically about are the annual financial report, and you see the citation there. It's a state law, and the audited financial statements. The village has not, and let me repeat that, the village has not complied with these statutory requirements since fiscal year 2021. There's no annual financial report available after 2021 and no audited financial statements after 2021. So what that means is the information that we're providing.
And guess when Ms. Tiffany Henyard begun her role as mayor over Dolton and Thornton Township. Yeah, she began serving as mayor of Dolton since 2021 and Thornton Township supervisor since 2022. She previously served 2 terms as a member of the Dolton Village Board of Trustees from 2013 to 2021. So that's how she got her meat hooks in. And then was appointed supervisor in 2022. So she's been probably scheming this for 15 years, at least 10.
You has not been thoroughly audited by a CPA, but we do have information coming from an entity that essentially serves as the finance department of the village.
So the village's finances haven't been looked into for about 3 years, and Tiffany Henyard has been running roughshod with it. So nobody knows how the money's being spent. Nobody knows how it's been spent. So this is the first time some independent party has looked at the finances to see what the condition of the village's finances.
Yeah, they hired Lori to do this. I think they're paying her something like 30 or 40 grand to do this report. And every time the people have asked Tiffany about the finances, she claims she has no clue. She claims that people are being haters. That it's online hate and not just her being ridiculously corrupt.
Finances are. So now the first thing Lori Lightfoot does is go into the bank accounts and says, okay, how much money did we have when we started? How much money do we have now? This slide shows you that
this probably got one of the biggest reactions.
When Henyard started, she had about $5.5 million in the bank as of April 2022. And as of May 2024, they lost essentially $8 to $9 million. They lost $9 million, where now they are $3.65 million in the hole. What happened to that money? Here's Lori Lightfoot.
Is a graphic that depicts where we started as of April, where the village started as of April of 22.
Right. So surplus of 5.61 million to deficit of 3.65 million. I believe the math checks out in just 2 years.
With positive of $5.6 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative 3.65 million.
Mayor Lightfoot, if I may.
Yes.
And that's interesting. Just in the month between April and May, you can see how much money was spent. So I wonder if Tiffany started to like shit her pants a little bit and was like, oh, the walls are closing in on me. What else can I buy?
Just kind of as a summary now, just quick numbers. So in a 2-year span,
So that's Jason House. He is going to be running for mayor for 2025. He's been kind of somewhat quiet on some of these issues because he's trying to look good and professional for when he runs for mayor. But his slogan is clean house. So he's probably loving all this. He's like, yes, more.
we're talking about a $9 million swing or $9 million of deficit over that course of time. Would that be most accurate?
Yes, sir.
So now Lightfoot's team had to figure out if this was because they were getting less money and let's say tax revenue, or was it because spending was going out of control? So here's Lori Lightfoot explaining that it wasn't because you weren't getting less money. It was because you guys started spending like insano.
Again, as you see in the graph on the blue bars, the revenues have remained relatively the same over that time period, around just over $24 million, while expenditures have climbed from $23 million in 2022.
Right. So they're taking in about the same over the last 2 years. Wow. I didn't realize that a town makes like $24 million just in taxes. God damn.
To $30 million in 2024. Ultimately, in fiscal years 2023 and 2024, expenditures exceeded revenue. Specifically in 2024, it was over $5 million more in expenditures than revenues.
Now, the numbers don't lie. When Henyard first got in there in fiscal year 2022, $24 million came in. They were spending $23 million and had $1 million overage. Now, in 2024, they actually have more money coming in, $24.6 million, but they're spending $30 million. So where is that money going?
It's going into Tiffany's weave collection.
How come when Henyard got in there, they suddenly had this huge budget deficit every year? Essentially $5 million of more money. So your next question is, well, where the hell is all this money going? Well, it's going to a couple of people. First, we got to talk about the police department.
Her main squeezes.
But it seems like they're being paid off massively. There is massive police corruption. First, let's start with the officers who are being paid more in overtime than their base salary.
We wanted to highlight for you, particularly given overtime, what we saw as two outliers.
Yeah, so Terry Young and William Reed are two of her like personal security detail that she hired from, the regular Dolton Police Department.
In officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years have earned more in overtime than their base compensation.
To show you how much money that is for a patrol officer, the governor of Illinois, his salary is $184,000 a year. These officers are making
good point. Damn.
More than the governor of the state. Think about that, people. 2 cops, patrol officers in a town of 20,000 people are making more money than the governor of the state of Illinois.
Shit.
And no one said, that's a little fishy. Now, if you've been watching this channel and watching this Super Mayor series, you know the name Terry Young.
Yeah.
Terry Young is the officer who was exposed a year ago for questionable, and I'm going to say questionable, overtime usage. Watch the report again.
Officers are paid every 2 weeks, which without
that's it. Everywhere she goes, she's flanked by her personal security.
Time is 80 hours. But when they're put on Henyard's detail, that 80 hours balloons to well over 100 hours, sometimes 200 hours. And in the case of Officer Terry Young last May, 303 hours worked over a 2-week period. That resulted in a single paycheck of more than $13,000.
Yeah, they even said, and I wonder if he'll mention it again, that there were a couple of weeks where he worked more hours, and it didn't even account for sleep. Like, he worked almost as many hours as there were in the week.
How does a person put in a 2-week pay period, 303 hours? That's impossible. That's impossible.
336
Does he never go to sleep?
In fact, there are 336 hours total in 2 weeks, meaning Young was not being paid for only 33 hours over that period.
Yeah, in a full 2-week period, it's only 336 hours. He got paid for 303 hours.
Maybe he's just really committed to his job. Maybe he's just a hard worker.
Possible. It's obvious corruption. It's obvious corruption. And that's why he's on this report. And that's why this town seems to be millions of dollars in the hole. But I also have to mention the police chief, who is not eligible for overtime. Guess what he's getting? Massive amounts of overtime.
Ooh.
Which essentially, again, in my opinion, looks like theft.
We thought it also important for you to know that acting chief.
He's the police chief. It's like the owner of the restaurant taking tips. No, it's much worse than that. Whoo!
Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747 just in overtime.
So then the village board of trustees put the chief on administrative leave pending an investigation.
Oh, I wonder where she is. I wonder if she's just going to fly to Mexico and never come back.
He's getting paid overtime and he's not even eligible for overtime. $200,000 in overtime. The police chief said, well, he's not going to be put on leave and kept coming to work. So the board fired him.
Ooh.
Here's that announcement.
Well, once again, based on the board's directive, different individuals aren't following the board's directive. There was a deputy chief that was placed on administrative leave. He disregarded it and showed up the very next day.
Wow.
He then received a notice that he was terminated. And he's
like, yeah, I did good. This guy needs a massage. Everyone in this town is very stressed.
Despite being notified that he was terminated and in discussions with the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, he again showed up today.
So as you can see,
because he can't get his overtime if he doesn't show up to work.
The acting chief doesn't want to go. He knows he's in a lot of trouble and is refusing to be fired. But now, since he's officially been terminated, he's not a police officer. And he's now technically impersonating a police officer.
What?
So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, we have a lot.
He's like, I still have my uniforms. I still have my badge.
More explosive stuff to go over. We haven't even touched on the $40,000 spent on Amazon in one.
Oh my God. I can't imagine. This is like one of the most stunning parts of the report that they figured out. I don't know. Was it Amazon Prime Day on January 5th, 2023? How much? Who's good at math? Tally this up. That's 38, 39, 45, like 40, 43, 44 grand.
One day for someone's personal account, which we're about to go into. But
how could you spend that much? I don't even know. What are you buying? Every single person you know gets a house full of furniture.
Here's a quick word from our sponsor, Ethos. What feed us online just have to without complete coverage. Talking about $1 million, expect that they were paying the bills, was getting getting overtime, even though he wasn't legally allowed to get overtime, it looks like. We were talking about how the officers were getting paid more than the governor. Patrol officers in a town of 20,000 people were getting paid more than the governor of the state. Now, with all this money going out, you would suspect that they were paying the bills, at least paying the bills. But
no, they didn't pay any of the bills. None of the bills for the town have been paid for quite some time.
They actually weren't paying the bills. Matter of fact, I think $6 million in bills haven't been paid.
Yeah. 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been printed but not sent to vendors. So I don't know. They have a parade. A guy comes in a Easter bunny costume, or I'm just thinking of town expenditures. I don't know. The people who paint the lines on the streets, garbage people. crossing guards. None of these people have been paid. Woo!
Check it out.
Based on the records that we have reviewed since March of 2023, the village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance. Since that time, nearly every month, a portion of the checks approved and printed have been held by the village due to unavailability of funds.
Whoa.
Per records from the John Kasperick firm, as of June 18th, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved.
Doesn't this stress these people out? Like, I get stressed when I owe a couple $100 to Macy's or something. It's over $6 million in bills, or I guess you get to a place where you're like, it's not my money. I'm not sweating it.
Approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors. And that is a big driver of the deficit in the general fund.
The town is broke.
This over $6 million in held checks, I want to caution, does not account for additional monies potentially owed by the village to vendors for which checks have not even been printed. These categories, which we are looking into, include, for example, invoices that have been received by village departments, but for one reason or another may not have been entered into the accounting system, which is called My Viewpoint.
So like people are trying to invoice them and they're not even registering it. They're just like, la, 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 la. We owe people money. La, la, la.
These invoices could have been entered into the accounting system, but not been approved by department heads or by the village administrator.
So just so we're clear, absolutely clear, the village, Henyard, has spent about $6 million in cash. They don't know where it went, but the bills that the trustees approved, the $6 million worth of bills that they said, pay these bills, cut these checks.
Yeah, with people's tax money, with all that, the 22 plus 24, whatever it was, tax money that they get from the town each year.
Tiffany Henyard and her crew cut the checks and then held on to the checks and never paid the bills. But the $6 million is still gone. So the question is, what happened to that money? What happened to that $6 million? So essentially, this is like
yeah, maybe they printed the checks to, I don't know, so that it would look like in the system that maybe they had been paid. And then they probably just opened up an old closet and found a big old stack full of checks.
Double whammy. The money's gone, but you still have the bills. And there's no money to pay those bills. This is an absolute disaster. And where the hell did all that money go? It didn't go to the vendors to pay the bills. So Lori Lightfoot said, well, let's just look at the accounts and see.
Let's open up Tiffany's closet. Let's check out her shoe collection and how many of those shoes have red bottoms. Let's look at the purses.
How much money's left in the accounts? And check this out. There's one account when Henyard got in office had $2 million in it. That account now has less than $4,000 in it.
Whoo! No, and none of this was used to pay any bills.
You think I'm joking?
In addition to the main operating account, historically, the village has held its excess cash,
petty cash,
in an account known as Illinois funds. Illinois funds are interest-bearing accounts that are managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office that allow municipalities to earn interest on their excess cash balance.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually smart. So like smart investing for the town so they can use that money for whatever they need to use
in
it
the
for.
Illinois funds account as of June 30th was only $3,900.
So that money's supposed to be sitting there gaining interest, but nope, she went in there and took that money too.
April 30th, 2021, that balance was over $2 million. So the balance of excess cash has dropped by over $2 million in that time period.
So Henyard has essentially Henyard's gonna be like, well, didn't the stock market go down? You know, there's ups, there's downs. It's a bad economy, right? I'll just blame Wall Street.
The town literally has like a $6 million budget deficit and cannot pay all of the bills that it owes. Essentially, they're bankrupt. Matter of fact, here is Lori Lightfoot's team explaining it.
The monthly financial reports include a summary of the unrestricted cash balances of the village each month. Within these summaries, the balance reflected already accounts for.
Who is this chick, by the way? Is this Lori Lightfoot's assistant? I like that they coordinated their outfits. Lightfoot's like, look, I'm gonna unbutton my jacket, okay? I'm getting hot. This is heating up. I just imagine them like she's riding around in a sidecar with Lori, and they have matching helmets and everything.
For those held checks that Mayor Lightfoot was just discussing, checks that have been issued.
Oh, I wish that there was a camera on the audience. That's the only thing that was missing from this. You know, because I understand it's not reality television. It's a press conference about the town's spending. But my God, I would have loved to see the faces of the people at the meeting.
Haven't cleared because they haven't been sent yet to vendors. What you can see on the chart is that the unrestricted cash balance of the general fund has dropped from almost $5 million as of April of 2022. And it is now accounting for all of the checks that have yet to be sent, is now in a deficit position of over $5.5 million as of May of 2024.
Now, we haven't even gotten to some of the craziest stuff yet. The credit cards.
Which Tiffany would always say, I don't know. Anytime she was asked about the credit card, she'd be like, I don't know about credit cards. I don't use credit cards. I don't deal with credit cards.
Now, Lori Lightfoot and her team went and got the credit card receipts. And Henyard and her team were hiding.
This reminds me of like my mom used to work as a secretary in like the middle school. In like the school district that we grew up in, and like this just reminds me of like the yearbook, like posing with the phone photo.
These so much that they were even hiding it from the Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office said you have to turn over these. They didn't turn it over to them, but Lori Lightfoot got them, and they are explosive. Let's look at some of the things that Henyard and her team were doing with the town's credit cards.
We want to highlight a couple of credit card purchases.
Listen to the crowd. Listen to the crowd. This is all in 1 year.
You're having the same reaction that we did when we saw this.
Holy shit. Do we want to tally this all up? Oh my God. Yes, let's tally this all up. It'll only take a minute. So 33,005. I'm not even gonna do the change. Plus 4715 plus 5609 plus 454 plus 413 plus 7699 plus 505 plus 505 plus 521 plus 400 plus 800 plus 217 plus 817. It's $55,660, but it's more because I didn't do the change. Whew, that's a whole ass annual salary that was just spent. They're still going. The crowd is like, what the fuck?
So in particular,
and this is not at, well, okay, Best Buy, but I'm saying this is not like, a little bit of Staples. We got to go get some Post-it notes. We got to get some stickies. We got to get some thumbtacks for the office, a card table, some folders. No, this is like almost $8,000 at Wayfair. So that's furniture. Amazon, who knows what was bought from Amazon? It could be anything. It could be like really anything. Furniture to, I don't know, an expensive Dyson hairdryer. I'm just saying, like, what's the most expensive thing I've seen on Amazon? Is that damn hairdryer. It's like $500.
We were very concerned to see the top 3 purchases that were highlighted for you.
Okay, because Amazon is very personal, obviously. Yeah, Target could be, that could be office supplies. Walgreens, maybe it could be food, But that's just 1 month. That's just one purchase. That's what's tricky. The Wayfair could be furniture for the office. Giftly.com. What the hell is Giftly.com? Let's look it up. Giftly.com. Please don't be porn. Oh my God. Okay. I am going to stop this. I have to bring this up because I've never even heard of Giftly, right? Look at what Giftly.com is. Treat your friends and family to what they want. Gift cards. Send customized, personalized gifts that recipients are guaranteed to like. Use Giftly to treat your friends and family to any business, from national chains to local shops. Oh my God, this is like money laundering. Or she's spending thousands of dollars in gift cards and just giving those to people. Whoo! Restaurants, flights, really anything, trips. Anything, birthday, out and about, swimwear, so you can shop with it. Oh boy, what a grift. Interesting. We learned something interesting about Giftly.com. Woohoo! And Giftly, she spent $521 on that.
That were booked on January 5th of 2023. That's roughly $40,000, a little more than that, in credit card purchases on Amazon in the same day.
And one day, how do you not get a text from your bank like, hey, town of Dolton, you sure you want to spend $40,000 in one day? I can't imagine what she was buying. This is insane.
And our understanding is that the village does not have an Amazon account. These are somebody using one of the credit cards and charging these amounts using your tax dollars.
Hold on. Okay, I'm pausing because somebody's got some information here, which I appreciate. I should address these. Grab America by the Pussy. She's explained this. It was for a youth center. So the kids are getting these gift cards. Is that appropriate? Let's find these kids and interview them. What's up, Matt? Thank you for the orange boy. Morning, funny lady. Your buddy Kirk. I like the guy. How could you not like Kirk? And I enjoy conspiracy stuff. Problem for me, it assigns competence to groups of people, but most people are not competent. Anyways, Kirk was one crazy SOB. Yes, he was, Matt. And thank you for the super chat. Mikey Gusler. Chrissy, you should come to the Funny Bone in Columbus at Easton for a stand-up show. I believe I have performed at the Funny Bone. That's in Ohio, right? I believe I performed there a couple of years ago, but I definitely should come back, Mikey. So thank you for the reminder. What's up, push-ups? Chrissy, how could you mock Zack Snyder, you monster? Oh, we'll get to that. We will get to that. Deranged lunatic. Chrissy, Lily was an excellent guest on Simcast. Oh, thank you, Deranged. Yeah, I think she's great. She's good in a group setting, a fun panel. She's getting the hang of podcasting. I don't like that the world has forgotten about the N-word girl. Lily Gaddis there. Not me. Nope. I'm taking her under my wing. John Thomas, Lori Lightfoot, aka Zombie Queen, leading up to the investigation is like a remake of It Takes a Thief. A crook knows how to spot a crook. Ooh, was Lori stealing money too? That would be interesting to find out. Will L. New show idea, Lori Lightfoot as a John Tapper of Bar Rescue character. She walks into municipalities and starts yelling and demeaning everyone. I would watch that for sure. I like it when she gets mad. John Thomas, Super Mayor, used Steiner math. I haven't heard of Steiner math. Drunk engineer, gotta give Tiff credit. While other libs were defunding the police, she was making it rain on them. That's true. She was funding her own very specific police.
We suspect we're going to see, as you can see, expenditures at Target, Walgreens.
I want to see the receipts. I want to know what they bought. What do you guys in the comments tell me what you think she bought?
Best Buy, a number of charges.
Best Buy, you know for sure that that's iPhones. right? Because isn't an iPhone like $800 or $400? Or maybe that was a refurbished one. What can you buy from Best Buy? Speakers. A lot of cell phone covers.
That raise questions in our mind. Are these legitimate purchases using the credit
No,
cards?
you hear everyone
As
go,
you
no.
hear, the crowd was shocked. On one day, they spent $40,000 at Amazon. Remember, this is the Village's credit card. You're supposed to only use this for things necessary for the Village. Number one, they didn't use the
Wow.
Village's Amazon account. They used someone's personal account and used the credit card to
Oh, that's bad.
buy all of this stuff. Best Buy, Walgreens, Wayfair. What's going on?
And probably they don't get a text going, hey, what are you doing? You're spending too much. When your bank stops you from spending too much money because they think it might be fraud. They probably don't have that setting on the town's credit cards because they're probably like, oh, it's the town. They wouldn't be stealing money.
And there's no receipts to tell you what this stuff
Oh,
was. At
man.
my old job, if I used a credit card for something for $2 and didn't have a receipt for it, that I had to pay for that out of my pocket. Not in Dolton. This
Wow.
is outrageous.
Else to come in to show that
She was pissed, this lady.
we've been trying to stop this. And we've been doing minimal damage. So could you have imagined if we just sat up there and approved everything that was going on? Because she gonna ride off in her BMW and we'll still be here stuck.
Yeah, and there was a previous meeting where they asked somebody in the town was like, we see a BMW around here parked outside of the building and at the meetings. Is that your BMW, Tiffany? And like, she wouldn't answer.
We have been financially raped.
Oh, she says rape. She's so serious and mad. She says, we have been raped.
And when people rape people, they get anything they deserve.
All right, so that was an overview of the report. If you want to see the full thing, go to the Dolton Trustees page and have a full presentation. I'm going to be uploading the PowerPoint so you guys
Ooh.
can have that on my locals page. And
Awesome. A big shout out to Nate the lawyer. I love the way he laid this all out in a very entertaining way. I love his graphics. Subscribe to him.
this story is still ongoing. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on with the FBI. I don't know what's going on with the local officials.
What are they
from
gonna
the
do with
Attorney
Tiffany?
General's office to the governor's office. This is obviously there's some criminal stuff going on here, but the wheels of justice move slowly, and this is really, really slow. Now, if you want to help these
Yeah.
trustees get rid of this super mayor, the link to their campaign
Oh.
contributions are in the description.
Yeah. They are they gonna try to make up the $6 million?
They have a Give Send Go account. They're raising money so they can run ads and get this super mayor out of office.
Wow.
So, with that being said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe. We love Nate. Let's see. Da-da-da-da-da.
Since character.
Andrew Jordan. I've been a resident here in Dolton for 16 years.
Whoa.
And when I look at the situation and everything that's going on, I can just honestly say I'm just so disgusted with what is going on in this village. And I want to encourage the voters, because I've come to the point that I don't just vote because you're just Black. We have to start doing our due diligence and start researching the people that we actually cast our votes for. We can no longer just take handouts and because you're my favorite or because I like you. We have to literally start doing our research. And for those of you that voted for Tiffany, I'm just going to honestly say it. You might not like me. You just didn't do your research. I mean, you can honestly look at this chick and see that there was
She
an
lost
issue
an
and that there
earring.
was a problem.
She's so mad that one of her earrings popped out.
I mean, when you do your research, you see, I mean, if you got a person with a criminal
Oh, no.
background,
I think it's still there.
who in their right mind would have put her in position? So I say to you all, do your due diligence and just stop voting for people because they're Black. We have to do our research. And if a lot of you all had done your research, a lot of this stuff would have been avoided.
Now, don't forget to like, share.
Oh my God. Yes, subscribe to Nate the lawyer. He's great. Oh my God. Tiffany had already served a prison sentence. But she would probably attribute that to the haters. The haters. John Thomas. Chrissie Steiner Math is internet lore. Tagged you on Twitter for a post about it. Do I really have to go and look at this? Is it really crucial to the story here? Let me look. Let me see. I can't find it. All right. I'm moving on to the next topic. Thank you, John. I'll keep looking for it. Grab America by the pussy. Now, imagine her, but dumber and in the White House and a half Indian. Thank you. And push-ups, yes. I did mock Zack Snyder. And I am a monster. And I'm getting serious blowback for something that I did that was pretty funny. Let me quickly go over this. You guys are going to laugh. You know what? I'm going to first show you the parody interview that I did. And you tell me if it seems like a real interview or not. Like if you would see it and go, oh, wow, it's pretty close. Okay. This debuted last Friday on Friday Night Tights because we're talking about Rebel Moon. And it was directed by Zack Snyder, who has directed many other things. And I thought it would be fun to, Frank and I made this, this parody interview. And here I posted it on Twitter. Was honored for the opportunity to sit down and interview Zack Snyder to discuss the director's cut of Rebel Moon on Netflix. So this is what Frank and I put together for last Friday Night Tights. I'm so happy to have you here, Zack. Thank you so much for being here. Now, why a director's cut? Usually when there's a director's cut, it's because the studio interfered. Who made the movie?
I made the movie.
Some people have said that this is a ripoff of Star Wars. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how does the technology compare? Specifically, the laser swords versus the lightsabers. How does that work in this universe? How do the spaceships work?
Because it's science fantasy, it has that. We don't really have any. There's no real hard science in it. It's like, how do the spaceships work? I don't care.
So why do people need to watch this version?
There's a lot of sex and a lot of violence and a lot of sci-fi fantasy. So it really, really heavy metals itself.
Were there any limitations on sex?
There's a lot of sex in it.
Violence, or even the editing, so that this didn't have to be 3.5+ hours.
Long. So we try not to police ourselves too much. There's a lot of sex in it.
I'm just curious, based on your answers, is this film a reflection of your own sexual proclivities?
Yep.
Zack, how would you define your own sex life?
Way more brutal. It's way more, but it's also more bizarre. It's just more, it's more Verhoeven-esque, I guess, if you want to think about it in those ways.
3 ways?
Yep.
Hot tub wife swapping.
Yep.
Do you have a nickname for your penis?
Conan the Barbarian.
What's the oldest woman you've ever been with?
Late 70s, early 80s.
80s?
Yep.
More than once?
Yep.
How are you able to perform with women that age?
I wasn't worried about it as much. And so we really, because then we just had to dig in and start doing it our way.
Well, there you have it, folks. Go watch the director's cut, I guess.
There's a lot of sex in it.
I get it. There's a lot of sex in it. So, guys, do you think that's a real interview? Be honest with me. Like, even on your most retarded day, would you watch that and go, oh, that looks like a real interview? I would say no. I would say most of you are smarter than that, and you would see that and go, oh, she is taking the piss out of the situation. Well, not this guy, not the real rap nerd. He, the coolest nerd you'll ever meet. I disagree. So this he tweeted out yesterday. Fellow fans, if you see this video, do not watch it. This person made a parody video of bad taste by taking clips. All right, so he didn't think it was real, but he's very upset. This person made a parody video of bad taste by taking clips of a real interview and editing it in a way that ridicules Zack with ridiculous questions. I swear, I never see this amount of effort put into dislike for a director. I mean, it was an hour of editing. by Frank. I mean, it was an hour. He's very upset, this rap nerd guy. And I posted it on YouTube. We put a fun thumbnail on it to make it look like a real interview, but it's not even 2 minutes long. It's obviously a big old joke. He writes, "It's a parody and she's a comedian." Hey, that is fine. And if you enjoyed, cool. That's why I exclusive said fellow fans, because I'm sure they wouldn't find it funny clicking it, thinking it's a real interview. So he thinks everyone's dumb. Just had to say that as I get called all types of names for this. And then Frank said, "Oh no, here's the link. I can't believe Zach said these things." He wrote, "This is Golden Dude." Okay, so he's trying to steer fans away from this. He doesn't want people to get confused and think it's real. Actually, I like some of his stuff. This is from Danny, one of the commenters. "I like some of his stuff. He's not immune to jokes and criticism. Instead of encouraging people to avoid something that might upset them and make them weaker people for it, I instead encourage people who love the guy to watch and find some humor in poking fun at themselves and things that they like every so often. You'll be much a happy person." So this person has a level head, sense of humor. Good for lighten up, Francis. They call me Willio. What does this say?
You're a fucking faggot.
Oh, okay. Ratio Alger, I gotta say, as someone who tends to dislike Zack Snyder movies and fans, that was absolute garbage. She has no comic timing. And while I think Zack often gives bad answers to questions about his movies, she did nothing funny with them. That lady stinks. Oops. I want to see what the other person said underneath. Totally, definitely not Death Wish. There were a couple moments that were good, but overall the video did fall flat. Everyone's upset. So upset with me. Oh my god. Let's see. Should we see all the comments? Comments galore. Oh, Nina. Thank you, Nina. Thanks for telling us about it. It was hilarious. Also, you may want to look up Streisand effect. You're not a fan, so enjoy. Red Safter Viking. She's also a Tramp fan, so that just reinforces my first reply on the original thread. Prepare to receive a slut from one of her alt accounts in your DM. A slut? Frank says, "It's a joke. It's clearly a joke. Nobody thinks it's real." Aaron Bailey, "What the hell? So she didn't interview him at all, I'm assuming?" Nope, not at all. She took an interview he did with someone else, asked her own questions, full of ridicule and condescension, and edited the real interview like he's responding to her. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. The nerve. Psych Donnelly. "Just went and checked it out. She lists it as parody in the description and is a comedian. Not arguing on whether it's funny or not, but she does explain the description that she really didn't interview Zach. Just FYI before everyone gets more riled up. Guess what? It's too late. Everyone's riled up." Aaron says, "Well, I definitely see now that it's listed as parody. She's also friends with Nerdrotic and that crew, as well as tweeting hateful rhetoric. So it's kind of hard to tell when she's joking or actually defaming somebody. I'm always joking. Assume I am always joking. Let's just clear that up. Don't know that crew or her, lol, but I appreciate the response. Backing up into the bushes now, Homer Simpson style. I respect that, man. I wish I had that much willpower." New Geeks. "Thank you for sharing, because I know of her and didn't think she'd end up being a hater." Shaking my head. Pretty lame and pathetic of her. "I had to let folks know because I clicked it thinking it was real." Okay, so you are retarded. "Don't want to give any views to flat out hating of this level." It's flat out hating. It's 2 minutes. Calm down. Kim Coulter. "It's called a joke. You're the human equivalent of a wet sponge." Thank you, Kim. Scott Moser. "I guess you never watched a single Weird AI interview before." Yes, that's the point. It's funny. You guessed right, because I haven't. Reported as misinformation. A 2-minute silly interview. Yes, misinformation. If you're retarded and can't tell that it's not real, yes, we need to know it's misinformation. 90s Man posts this meme. "I'm a Snyder hater. You can't be so rough with me." Well, then what the hell are we supposed to do? You know, gentle stuff, like hating on Zack Snyder and his fans for no good reasons. That sounds kind of gay. But hey, since you hate yourself and you have no taste in good art and storytelling, then I guess it's okay, right? Yeah. This is way too long and stupid. Can you sum this up for me? Not reading all that. Mass report for false information. It's a 2-minute interview from a comedian crying about this. It's unreal. Thank you, Nate. The only sane person in this thread. Crying. That's what I'm doing? Well, gosh darn it. I had no idea. Mighty Daffy Duck. It's very funny. She's a comedian. At least tag her at Chrissie Mayr. Thank you, Daffy. I didn't know she was a comedian. I just clicked the video thinking it was a real interview because I enjoy hearing directors' insight on crafting film. Wasn't expecting a parody. Now I'm definitely going to watch it. Thanks for the recommendation. Chrissie Mayr is hilarious, by the way. You're welcome. Okay. So this is a confused person here. In Hot Water said, is this Zach's mom? Jazza says, she's a comedian. It's meant to be a joke. Wasn't funny to me. Gotta be honest. There's no need to take it so personally. Taking it very personally. Says the man, quote, that's a sick burn right there, putting man in quotes. Says the man obsessed with a particular director so much he goes over every single discussion on this website. Lol, that was great. Thanks for the rec. You aren't a fan, so glad I can provide you with some entertainment. He's very insistent on deciding who is and isn't a fan. So the same thing a Weird AI has done for decades. I should watch it. Oh, not Weird AI, Weird Al. I'm so used to seeing AI. Of course, Weird Al. I've never seen any of this person's interview. I'm not into that type of entertainment. These interviews Al did were so obviously over the top. At one point, asked Keith Richards about Mick Jagger's body odor and offers him a glass of warm goat's blood. They can't possibly be confused as being genuine, and they aren't meant to make the subject look bad. So if this Snyder skit is in any way put together to make Snyder look bad, then they are most certainly not the same thing. No! God! Oh my God. Anybody with half a brain can see that it's a joke and it's not a real interview. She is a comedian. I know in 2024, this is from Dead Man Talking. I know in 2024, we aren't used to comedy that is funny anymore, but here it is. And even a female being funny. So there's proof in rare occurrences it can happen. Let's be progressive and support her. Yeah, be progressive. I didn't personally find it funny, though. Chrissie Mayr is a comedian, so there's that. Oh, okay. Very slowly coming around. I can't believe she would make a parody of a public figure. This is truly beyond the pale. I know. It's insane. Oh, yeah. I would never parody a public figure. Don't listen to this obvious bot account. You should definitely watch. It's what Zach would do. You're right. I'm 100% a bot. Put here by Zack Snyder. Peak interview. Thanks for suggestions. You're welcome, Dad. Just a gif of crying. Hand me a tissue, Aki. I need it. Cry more. I've been crying for hours now. Mind handing me a tissue? All right. Is he slowly coming around? Why do you even announce it if you don't want someone to watch it? If it's not popular, don't advertise it. Because I clicked on it thinking it was an actual interview. I'm interested in hearing the director's thoughts in making the film. Well, then go watch the actual interview, you tool. So this is more of a you thing than a Chrissie Mayr thing. Then you feel silly because you thought it was real. Lol. Thank you, in Hot Water Show. You all are so fragile. That I am. Please help Lee keep it together. Snyder fans can't meme. I can't. Are you autistic? You sound autistic. I probably am. Writer is mad. Another writer wrote something. Got it. Santa isn't real either. Butane. Are you a spokesman for Snyder fans? Oh no, this is a must watch, fan or not. I'm a fan. This was funny. Parasocial relationships are bad. Emotionalizing your parasocial relationships is really bad. She's copying what High Top Alex did, where he edited his Zack interview to mock his tragedy and stuttering. I've never heard of High Top Alex. Twitter retard is big mad that comedian did comedy. That gets a like. Relax, dude. Get a sense of humor and stop being a downer to everyone. I'll like that. How could anyone possibly think this is real? Just watched based on you sharing. Thought it was hilarious. I gotta follow this comedian. everyone. It's a great and funny parody. Watch below. Oh, thank you, Gene. Jesus Christ, gross sense of humor. It's freaking amazing. Is this you? Ugh. Now I gotta watch it. You're such a loser. I'm almost positive. Oh my God, I'm spitting. I'm almost positive this interview is totally real. Thank you. I'll go watch it right now. What do you mean? That sounds hilarious. The best way to get someone to do something is to tell them not to do it. It's less than 2 minutes. I'd hardly call that a lot of effort. See, looks funny. I think I'll give it a watch. Wow, they keep getting lower and lower on pettiness. Shaking my head. She is funny. Big fan of both. So just like High Tops. So she basically followed the steps of High Top Films. I've never heard of them. That's very disappointing. Not our fault. You like objectively terrible movies. Okay, this interview was awesome. It's hilarious. She's very weird. I'm gonna like that. And he's a prick and a terrible filmmaker. That was great. Thanks for steering me to her video. All the hate because he didn't put red panties on his Superman. That's funny. Wait, what? I have a feeling that studio tanking has a part in this. They know that we're going to hashtag the fuck out of it, sell the Snyderverse, and restore the Snyderverse. So they want to deceive people with BS like this. They're pulling a Drake and Co. method, but people are not dumb. Wow, that's a compliment to say that the studio made that interview. What an ugly person. Who was this loser? Now you people are going to do a cross burning in front of your house and leave ropes on your doorstep. Ew. Okay. Why are you insisting at making people not watch this video? If they can't recognize the obvious parody, then I'm sorry. You're fucking stupid. Hot take. You can enjoy Rebel Moon and still find the parody interview funny. Too late. Already did. And it was funny as hell. Thing is, you aren't a fan. So I was speaking to you directly, but hey, glad you found entertainment on this lovely Friday night. He's very upset that people, he's deeming people not to be real fans. And a lion face. Woo! He's so upset. Okay. Well, I wonder if he ever came around, rap nerd. But he's very upset. It's 2 minutes long. Calm down, everyone. Should I do more of these? Let me know in the comments what you think. Who else should I fake interview? James Shart, thank you for the 5. Doing fake interview with cut takes can be funny. Yours was. I remember Weird Al doing this back in the 80s for his Al TV specials when MTV had music. Oh, don't we miss those days? And Jesus Davila gifted 1 Chrissie Mayr membership. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I can't get over Giftly. Whoo, boy. Crazy, guys. I think this got a lot of good, positive attention, mostly. But the haters, they make themselves heard. Push-ups again. Snyder is the new Malaysia. I didn't realize how just foaming at the mouth these Snyder fans are, which makes me want to do more. Thank you, push-ups. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen next for Tiffany Dolton. I mean, certainly they're going to send her to jail, right? How could you get away with this? That's too much money to take. Very corrupt. Thank you guys for watching. Oh, before I forget, I got a package here that I opened, but I didn't open. What is this? It's a label maker. Who sent me a label maker? I actually do need one. Because now I can label the baby's milk. Oh, you defy labels and now you can make them from Hunter. Thank you, Hunter. How cool. Oh wow. How excited. This is adulthood. Getting excited over getting a label maker. Ooh. This is like something I used to have in one of my old office jobs. Oh, I'm going to have fun with this. Thank you, Hunter. Oh, so sweet. What a sweetheart. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We got Simcast coming up on Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, as usual. Let's see. Do we know who's going to be on the show? Not yet. I'm still putting that together. What else is coming up? Yeah, working on a few interviews. So stay tuned. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.